Looking to move to Kissimmee in 2022? Not until you watch this video. Let's have a look. Let's go. Hello and welcome to my channel, and if this is your first time, you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so, because if you are looking to move anywhere in Central Florida, I bring you community videos. We talk about schools, we talk about shopping, we talk about everything that there is to know so that you can make a decision of what part of Central Florida is going to be good for you and your family. And today I am in Kissimmee. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Kissimmee or moving to Kissimmee. Now guys, please remember, every place has its own good and bad. So there is no right or wrong answer to this. If you haven't watched my video on Kissimmee as a community, make sure you go ahead and do so. I'll go ahead and post a link right here. Now, without further ado, let's go into the pros and cons for living in Kissimmee in 2022. So pro one for living in Kissimmee is amenities. Now Kissimmee has a lot of parks. I'm in one such park today called the Lakefront Park, and I have two small kids, and after a while, you kind of get over the parks, so you want to bring the kids, and I love to bring my two boys. I have a 2-year-old and a 5.5-year-old. I want them to come around, play at the park right behind, or just run in this empty field right there, get tired, get exhausted, go home and sleep. There's also Gatorland. There's also Old Town, so there's so many other things you could do other than the park. So the city has a lot of parks, kids-friendly parks that you could bring, and not to mention, if you have four-legged friends, and I'm not allowed to have a dog yet, so I play with other people's dog and just come around just for that. So that's one of the pros to be living in Kissimmee. So let's talk about pro number two. So pro number two, let's talk about the cost of living in terms of the price per square footage. The price per square footage in Kissimmee right now is still quite affordable when you compare that to Orlando or Windermere or Winter Park. The price per square footage in Kissimmee currently is about $183 per square foot. When you compare that to Orlando, which is about $201, and then when you compare that with Windermere and Winter Garden, which is a lot more higher, about $263 plus. So it is more affordable. You're still close to everything. Your nearest airport is also just about half an hour, 45 minutes, depending upon which part of Kissimmee you are living in. Now guys, I have done community videos for other cities. One of the community as an aspect is celebration. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and do so. So let's talk about pro number three. Pro three. Well, Kissimmee has grown in leaps and bounds as one of the major cities right next to Orlando, and you can actually buy a house and have a good investment opportunity. The average rentals have gone up considerably, so it also has some areas that are allowing you to do short-term rentals, and Kissimmee is so close to Disney, Universal, and all the parks, and with so many visitors coming, Kissimmee could be a great place to just get a second home, put it on an Airbnb, or get an Airbnb. And if you haven't watched my other channel, Orlando Home Show, I actually have a playlist for Airbnbs, and you can check them out. And Kissimmee is one of the major cities that you can actually buy a property and just have an investment. And with the way the values have gone, I can tell you, when I moved here in 2001, there was hardly anything. This place was just exploding, and the amount of growth that I have seen in Kissimmee, I'm kind of seeing that now in Claremont area. So Kissimmee still has a good potential in terms of buying a second home as a rental, or just buying your own place, because the suburban Kissimmee area has good schools and good areas to kind of grow a family. You're not in Orlando where all the hustle and bustle and the tourist activity is. You're still close to everything, yet far. So now let's talk about the cons of living in Kissimmee. So con number one, Kissimmee is a bit further down from downtown Orlando, so if you want to buy a place right in the middle of where everything is happening, then Kissimmee may be a little bit further down. Most of the things would be about half an hour. The airport is about 30 to 35 minutes. If you end up in Point Siena, which is another part of Kissimmee, all the way at the very back on the border of Orange and Osceola County, then you're looking at about 45 to an hour. So it really depends upon you how close you want to be when to all the things that happen here in Central Florida, or if you are okay with the distance. That brings me to my con number 2, which is affordability. So con number 2, let's talk about affordability. Now I kind of touched that a little bit in my pros, because the average median price for Kissimmee right now is about $321,000, which is still comparatively fairly affordable when you compare that to Orlando, Windermere, or Winter Garden. So Kissimmee as a city within Central Florida is still more affordable when you compare that to other places. And as I mentioned in my price per square footage, so you're going to get a little bit more bang for your buck. And if you are okay with the distance of 30 minutes or so, or within 30 minutes, then that could definitely work for you. Now let's talk about con number 3. So this last one is more of a pro and a con. It really depends upon you, because Kissimmee is very laid back with a lot of things to offer. It's more like Davenport and Claremont. It's more suburban, but if you like the city hustle and bustle, then this may not be the place for you. And like I said, you know, all the pros and cons that I discussed in the video today, there's no right or wrong. It really depends upon you and your personality and your family and your needs. So it really depends upon what is that you are looking for. But overall, it's a great place to live. You know, it gives you a lot of amenities, a lot of things to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like this one, make sure to check this one. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, thank you for watching our videos. We look forward to serve you and be the realtor of choice. Bye for now.